My name is Isla Palmgren. I run a small camp north of Topolin. As it turned out, the end of the world doesn't only bring disadvantages. I lead a branch of the Red Cross. My parents had already worked for the Red Cross for many years before anyone had even thought of me. When, during one of their missions on the African continent, they found out that I was on the way, they were overjoyed. Their faces could not have shone brighter, and when they finally able to hold me in their arms, their happiness only grew greater. They called me their little light, a light of hope that they brought into this world. For them, I was always something special, just as every child should be something special for their parents. The years passed, and I grew up all over the world. My parents took me with them on their missions, believing it was the best and the right choice. It was important to them that I would follow in their footsteps. Of course, it was unusual, because wherever we went, we met the poorest of the poor. Power dynamics and war zones were always unbalanced. Rockets always struck civilians. Sanctions always hit those who had already lost everything. My parents could never look away. Their determination was the reason why, years later, I would accomplish what they had already done. I inherited their determination, but I was never as brave as they were. I was too afraid that the responsibility I carried in my hands would become too much. Could I have guessed back then that the courage would one day catch up with me again? Surely not. By then, I had grown up. I was able to lead a small group within the walls and was responsible for medical examinations. At that time, my parents had driven deep into the hot deserts to negotiate fair conditions with the rebel groups there. Something, something made us go wrong, and they were both captured and executed. It destroyed me. In a single moment, they were simply gone. For me, a long period of mourning began, and it felt as if my body were numb. Now that my parents were dead, I had very little left. The decision what to do seemed simple. I didn't want to let their legacy die, not when there are people who need help. But I wanted to start it on my own, so I decided to establish a branch of the Red Cross with my own means, my own people, and my own strength. Not than the pillars my parents had left behind. It was more important to succeed on my own, and so I did. I was able to prove myself, to find myself. I found my own path, one that my parents had paved for me. I still carried the wounds of what happened, but I take care of them, just as I take care of my people, and I always will. My people are my family, and a family must be protected, even if one day it costs me my life. My name is Isla Palmgren, and I founded the branch of the Red Cross. Not many know the name, but the meaning is clear: to be a light in the darkness, to guide the way. We are the will of the wisp.